Hey everyone, I hope all of you guys are doing good and staying safe. So in the previous videos, we took a look at networking 101, where we learned a lot of network concepts. In this video, we are going to map all of the network concepts that we studied in terms of the AWS console and the VPC dashboard. So in this video, I would like to just walk you through the AWS dashboard and the VPC dashboard and walk you through something called as the default VPC in each and every region of the AWS console. So let's take a look at that and let's see what all resources AWS automatically creates for you just to make your life easy. So I'm right now logged into the AWS console. I'm on the Mumbai region, which is AP South 1. In terms of switching your region, VPC is a region specific concept. You can always click on the region on the top and switch your region to any other region that you would like to work with. And then I have pinned a lot of services over here as part of this course. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on VPC. But instead, if you want to take a look at how do you search for VPC, you can click on services. And they have recently revised the entire console experience in terms of segregating or categorizing a lot of services under different categories. So if you take a look at networking and content delivery, you should be able to see VPC, which is called as isolated cloud resources. It allows you to create an entire private networking architecture. So you can click on VPC from here, or you can always search for a respective service on the top, and you can choose to type VPC and click on VPC. So right now we are in the Mumbai region. We have this VPC dashboard, which has the left side navigation bar for a lot of different configurations. We have a lot of additional documentation in the centralized dashboard over here. We have also something called as the VPC wizard, which we will take a look in the next video. And we have a lot of resources that we have created. And by default, let's say, for example, if not the Mumbai region, I go to a region where I don't have any resources created in terms of network. Let me go ahead and switch my region to something like Singapore. So in the Singapore region, you will see that you already have a default network created as in every other region. Let's take a look at that. So when you click on VPCs, you will be able to see that there is this default VPC, which has an IP address range of 172.31.0.0/16, which means that the first two portions are for the network portion, which will never change. And the last two octets are for the host portion, which will change. And this network on the total has all the way up to 65,536 ranges of IP addresses, out of which for each subnetwork that you create, 5 IP addresses are going to be reserved based on what we studied in the networking 101. So let's take a more closer look at all the resources that are created for this default network. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this, select this VPC, and I'm going to filter all the resources based on this. So let's go to subnets and filter based on this. You can see that we have 3 subnets already created. And these 3 subnets are 172.31.0.0/20, which means you have 2 power 12 IP addresses, which is 4096, out of which in each network, 5 IP addresses are reserved, which means you will have availability of IP address, which is 4091 in each subnetwork. Because /20 specifies that the first 20 bits are for the network portion, and out of an IPv4 address of 32 bits, 32 minus 20 is 12. So you have 2 power 12, which is 4096. But for each subnetwork, 5 IP addresses are reserved. So you have 4091 available IP addresses you can allocate for your host. And you can see over here that each of these subnets are mapped to an availability zone. And this is how you get highly available network architecture. And on the global layer, the reason why you segregate your network into different availability zones, or you map your network over multiple availability zones, is for high availability, so that even if one availability zone goes down, you will still be able to serve your end users out of another availability zone. And over here, the reason why they brought out something called as an availability zone ID is to say that A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, but it may not be the same in your respective account. It may not be the same in some other person's account. That's why they brought out something called as availability zone ID to find out which is the first availability zone, which is the second, and which is the third. So this VPC right now is mapped. So each and every subnet is mapped to one availability zone. So what is possible, what is not possible is something that I'm going to tell you right now. You can map a subnet to an availability zone. It's possible. You can map multiple subnets to a single availability zone. It's possible, but you cannot map a subnet to multiple availability zones. So you cannot map one subnet to AP South 1A, comma, AP South 1B. That is not possible. So again, I'll repeat this. You can map a subnet to an availability zone, multiple subnets to an availability zone, but you cannot map one subnet to multiple availability zones. So you can't do AP South 1A, comma, AP South 1B. That's not possible. So now let's think about whether all these subnets are public subnets or all these subnets are private subnets. We do that using the concept of route table. So we have a main route table over here. Like I said, whenever your VPC is created, you get a main route table. And you can see that implicitly, all these subnets are associated with the main route table. Let's see what routes these main route tables have. So the routes that these main route tables have is that they have a local route, which is saying that all the subnets can talk to each other, but then they also have a route to something called as the internet gateway. So 0.0.0.0/0 is mapped to the internet gateway, which means that all these subnets are public subnets. So if I place any resource within these subnets, I can directly access it through the internet. So let's take a look at the internet gateway that is created for this default VPC. So you can see that we have one internet gateway which is attached to our default VPC. And like I said, an internet gateway is a one-to-one mapping to a VPC. Let's take a look at any other resources that is allocated to this. I don't think so that there are any other resources allocated, except for, if you see under the security tab over here, you have something called as a network access control list and a security group. So for the default VPC, in any region, you will have one network access control list and one security group that is created for your default VPC. So that's one of the reasons why. Now I'll tell you a statement. Why they brought out the default VPC is because if there are developers who would like to just launch resources, they don't need to understand the networking aspects of it before launching a resource. That's one of the reasons why they have a default VPC in place in each and every region, that if the developers would like to just launch a virtual machine and work with it, they don't need to know the networking concepts. They are completely abstracted from what are all the networking constructs that are created. So I hope in this video, you got an understanding of the default VPC that is sitting in each and every region of your AWS console. In the next video, I'm going to take you through how you create a network. We are going to take a look at a network architecture diagram, and then we are going to create that network through something called as a launch wizard. So I'll see you all in the next video. I hope you had a good understanding as to how we learned the networking 101 and mapped it with the default VPC. So take care and have a great day, guys.